Hello and welcome to Beck's Bug Out Survivor, and today is going to be a trek and chat, and while we're en route in this National Trust woodland, we're going to have a look at my fire making kit. It's bought off the shelf, a fire bucket. It has multiple purposes, and a new survival knife as well, so that's the plan. So the whole package here, well, it doesn't come with this case. This case is a camera case. It has a belt loop and a very small beaner to hook onto my pack. This, like I said, was a store purchased package. And I think it was only about maybe £6 or £7 delivered. Obviously you can make your own for almost free or very, very cheap. It's always great to have a fire making kit, but I really wanted to see what you get for your money there. It's only you who can obviously decide if that was value for money, or perhaps you just haven't got things like birch where you live to make birch bark, or you don't want to make your own charcloth and things like that. I was really curious to see what a fire making kit off the shelf would look like, and do you know what, I'm relatively happy with it. Put this back in the old pack. And we're on a little trail here in North Wales. It's not a bad day actually. I'm reasonably happy with what we have today. And today is a look at fire making kit. And it's one of these that you can store purchase, you can get them online, and it's all pre-assembled tinder and strikers and everything like that, and it's cheap as chips, about £6-7. You probably make your own for cheaper, but for convenience I've got one and I want to show it you. Okay, I'm starting to lose my bearings a bit. I haven't been here before, I haven't got a map, so I'm going to leave indicators of which way I need to head back. 3 little sticks on the floor, somewhere where I can see them, in the shape of an arrow, so when I come to a junction I can look for the way back. But luckily enough we have tree markers here which will indicate the kind of route I need to be going back home. There's some more up there. So I'll just follow the tree markers that should help. It's quite a steep incline here up to the summit, so we'll have a look at the fire kit imminently now. And when we get to a site of beauty, it's all beautiful actually. I'll show you more in detail. Now this fire making kit has pretty much everything in. It comes in a little tin. It has stormproof matches and things like that. And I've also added a couple of bits into it also, just for good measure really. I've also brought with me a little fire bucket and just some sticks to get that going. And this fire bucket is also a godsend because you can use all natural tinders. So much more you can do with fire. I mean, it's going to keep you warm. It'll signal for rescue. Dry wet clothing out. There's just so much you can do with it. I've got a tree down here. Gonna have to. It's a big one as well. So climb over this, and we shouldn't be too far from the top. I wished I could have fire a lot more on my night camps, but technically it's trespassing and you don't want to really draw attention to yourself. But although this is a national park or a woodland, we're going to find somewhere a little sneaky. Now I also have with me a new survival knife as well, which will be good for battening all the wood down. It's a lot bigger than the Gerber I used to carry. That works fine, you know, but it was adequate. Excuse me. I don't do knife reviews because to me it's just a tool, something that I use out in the woods. So long as it's sharp and it holds its own, that's good enough for me. We're going to carry on, and it's a glorious day here. It started off so cold, sweating now. I don't know where the hell I am actually, so I've been leaving trace clues to get me home. Oh wow, this is absolutely fantastic. This is right on my doorstep. And you know, I don't take advantage of it as I should. I'm trying to figure out, I know where the water tower is down there. And further up here, that looks like it could be water. I'm not aware of any, or it could be a building, I don't know. But wow, the beauty, the beauty. This has turned into quite a track and chat really, with a bit of fire lighting pack towards the end of the episode. I hope you don't mind too much, but it's absolutely phenomenal. The day is glorious, the views are fantastic. And I probably don't take advantage of this little walk as often as I should. Right, let's get into the kit and finally have a look at what it is we're talking about. The pack, like I've shown you, or rather the fire making equipment of mine, like you saw before, I've used this pouch. I'm carrying mine for now just in my day pack, but everything can be contained within a tin. I'm going to get this. I had to take my jumper off. It is a splendid day here in North Wales in the UK, on the Conway Clwyd Hills. I'm doing this again, doing this walk. Do you know, I wish I'd have got a proper map and planned the route where I was going. Instead I've had to leave clues like broken branches if I'm turning to the right, my right, and I've had to leave rock arrows and twig arrows pointing the way I want to go, because I've taken that many turns just to try and find a clearing, and wow, wasn't it worth it? Absolutely fantastic. Okay, let's get rid of the kit. Using 35 litre Recon. I've water, chilled water. I'm going to sit on the jacket. Okay, actually the jacket will make a nice little backdrop to empty the contents of this into. Okay, here's the contents of my kit, which is now more or less empty. I've bought myself a magnesium block here with a ferrocerium rod on the back. Great for wet weather, rainy, wet, damp weather. Obviously a disposable lighter is the first thing anyone should think about putting in, and a rather large ferrocerium rod, a striker. And the reason I bought such a long one is because the more strikes you can give this, the more sparks and a better chance of flame. This is called a hot box tinder kit, and this is a little package where you can keep tinder dry. You can also carry water in this, push come to shove. The actual box itself looks like this. Charcloth, I've never used that. Great with a tinder bundle because it'll hold that ember for quite a long time. I've never had to go at building my own charcloth usually, just because you need a fire to make it in the first place. So if you were forward thinking enough to pack one of these into your fire kit, you should have been forward thinking enough to put a lighter in, shouldn't you? So it's 5 stormproof matches. These are windproof, they're rainproof. These are very difficult to blow out in the wind, so for wet weather I'd strike some of that. Very windy weather, there's a striker with that, I'd use that. Pine dust powder, which is it looks like it could be dust from some kind of resin stick, and luckily enough here's one here. It's fat wood, that's what they call it. It's nothing but resinous pine, and they've got it on a little bit of string there. This is the magnesium ribbon. This is magnesium powder. Comes in a little tub and it's just pre-ground off a magnesium block. Again, same as a magnesium block, but this has been powdered, pre-powdered for me. A lot of this you can make yourself. Fat wood. Love these. Jute wine. And this is pre-soaked in some sort of petroleum. You've seen me use these before. I think they're really good for starting a fire, jute wine. I think these might have been chemically soaked in something. The striker and steel there. A little ferrocerium rod. But if we compare that to the much larger rod, a lot more bang for your buck. And I can smell something burning, it's my coat. So, neat little idea, just a few halves of lollipop sticks. These are things you can make yourself. These are things you can find in the street, nearly. Egyptian cotton. I'm not sure if it's Egyptian, it just sounds good. But we do have cotton and petroleum soaked cotton also. All that I just fit inside like that. The little reflective bag I can put inside. Now the spares I usually leave at home and I won't carry these out, but for demonstration purposes I bought that out just to show you. On the outside, magnesium block, a lighter and a large ferrocerium rod. There's the contents of my fire kit. It's and there's a whole barrage of different backup you get with this, including birch bark. So there is birch bark in there, there's more cotton, more magnesium powder, there's another fat wood stick. So there's plenty of backup to what you see here. And obviously the tin itself. Now I did say I was going to show you a new survival knife. For those of you who've seen the channel before will know I've had a little Gerber for many years and it's done its job. It's okay. This is the Gerber I used to carry, still do, it's okay. It's one of them Bear Grylls Gerbers with a case and a ferrocerium rod which is now lost, and it comes with a sharpener. It's a handy little bushcraft come survival knife. It will do quite a range of jobs. But in the undergrowth, where I wanted to hack through that undergrowth more like a machete or a parang, this wasn't up to the job. So I've upgraded to this. It's the Ranger knife. Make sure there's no one around. This is the Ranger knife. Can you see the logo there? And it is pretty much a lot bigger than the old Gerber. The blade alone is a lot bigger than the Gerber. Razor sharp pointy tip. This does its job. This does more than I need. This is like a forest destroyer. And all I wanted to use that for really was for cutting through some of the overgrowth. But for dense overgrowth, that's better. I can chop my way through that. I'm going to get the Ranger knife away before anyone also takes a walk around here. I want to show you this. I found a little fire bucket, and it's one of them things that you put your kitchen utensils in. Aluminium bucket full of holes, bottom all the way around the sides, but it makes for a great little fire bucket. I put 2 tent pegs in. I did have 2. The other must be in the bag. And I can slide these through the holes on either side, like that. And it will make into a pot stand, so I can boil water up. Like I said, I did have 2 of them. I've pre-prepared some fine twigs and pine, and a free source of firewood are these pallets that you'll find. They're everywhere, these pallets. People throw them away. I will take a couple of them home with me and chop them into firewood. Again, it's an urban source of free wood. For convenience, I also carry fire lighters, which is enough to get that going there. Oops, and in my bag, which is spilt out, I have a range of fire lighters, and for some reason I seem to have dozens and dozens of these little tea light candles. And believe it or not, if you can just get one fire going and you light the tea light, you can use that tea light to light other fires elsewhere, such as making a long fire to sleep by. You can have 3 of them little candles going and build your fires on them, and it's plenty. Barbecue fire lighter for today. I have better fire lighters than that, but they're 99 pence from the garage. I think this is the other thing we was looking for, the other tent stake. Don't know. Also on the front of my pack here, a little pouch. Go into the pouch, and inside that pouch is one of these, a Zippo lighter, and even if this runs out of fuel, I still have a striker, and I can take the cotton out from the inside and use the striker to light the cotton. Simple stuff. Inside my fire bucket I have one of my tea light candles going. Now I'm going to light just 1 or 2 bits of the other wood off it. Once it's got one going, I can get another one going, and so forth. Tea light candles are so cheap that you can afford to use them as fire lighters. The thinner you cut this wood, the easier it is to get going. And you've seen people batten wood a million times, so I'm not going to demonstrate that. This is something I can even use to cook on, sterilise water. Keep me warm, and also it's very comforting at night. I can have a little reflector around this, and already you see that's going. Look at this, just a bit of wood I found on the track can go in, and the great thing is I can put the wood upright like that in the column, and it'll burn a lot longer. I'm not going to do very much with the fire other than to demonstrate, and if I needed to, I have some water to boil on the canteen set. There you go, little canteen on. Let's get some more firewood into there. My canteen set will sit on this. There you go, add some water. I'm going to save my water, by the way, for the walk home. This is just for demonstration purposes. Well, that tiny bit of water is coming to a boil, using nothing but a few bits of twigs that you can find on the trail. It didn't take very long for that to come to a complete boil there. Carry my water separately because I'm getting thirsty. I have a lid for this. Again, your water will boil quicker with the lid on. And I'm even going to salvage the demonstration wood I was using for another burn, should I need it, in case I get lost on the way home. Like I said, no map, I've had to leave trace. Trouble is now, I have 2 hot containers to put in this pack before we can go home. Oh, look at the state of this. Probably enough water there for a small brew. I've got a pine cone in there, really good easy tinder. Always pick these up if you find them, put them in your pack. Oh look, there's a little tea light candle in the bottom there. That's all distorted. That did the job, didn't it? Simple little fire lighter. Trouble of this, all this is going to be red hot to put back in my pack. I'm going to use some of the water I have in here just to cool this right down. Put that out. There, yeah. I can put this back in my day pack. The day pack is a radio molly. Let's have a quick shufty at this. Plenty of molly attachments for extra bits and pieces, which is handy for me just to carry field equipment such as some of the recording equipment. Get this in it. Terrific little day pack for hiking. Something I always carry in the pack is gaffer tape. And I believe it will take a spark, but I don't see how. Going to be pretty flammable. There you go. They weren't wrong, were they? A bit of duct tape, or duct tape, before I get told off. So just a bit of duct tape in your kit as well. Look at that. It's been in a good long time, look. That's fantastic. Let's clean that off. I'm going to start heading back, but it'll be worth you coming with me back, because I've taken so many different alterations of course without a map. I've had to leave some clues how to get back, as well as using a bit of memory, so it'd be worth your while just coming back with me. And beautiful scenery, by the way, all the way back, and we'll have a look at what type of clues I've left to get myself home. First I have a rock arrow pointing me straight ahead, because I could go that way. If you're wondering what the noise is, it's a guy using his strimmer. This place is very well maintained. I've just had the litter picker coming through, and the guys strimming and cutting back the dead wood. It's a well managed woodland, this, very well managed. I've also made a mental note of the kind of terrain I'm walking on, and this was the only bit of terrain that I could recall having a stone shingle. I'm coming up to a junction on the footpath where I could go to the right or the left. So let's reverse you up a bit. I'm going to look on the ground to see if I've put any arrows anywhere. Usually I leave them on the corner of where it is I'm turning. Right there. Yeah. Instead I've opted for this, breaking branches on the path, the side of the path that is I'm turning. I've broken at least 3 branches here that hang down. They were up like that, now they're down. And here's that break, just hangs down. It's not just that one there, but I've done a few. Yep, I've done a few. I've also broken another one here and here, so that indicates I need to go to the right. I also recall this stump on the way down, and I'm going on the way up. So so far so good, we're en route. I mean, just look how gorgeous this woodland is. It's been a good old hike today as well. Now I don't know how many kilometres I've actually done. I've actually slowed the pace down now because I'm going downhill. But it's been a really enjoyable walk. Like I said, it's right on my doorstep more or less. I only live less than 12 miles away from here. I booked Captain Montgomery here and walked the rest in a big loop. I'm going to take this walk again. Anyway, we're coming up to another bit of junction here. I should have left some kind of clue. And here we are again at another junction. Did I go to the right or the left? I'll look out for markers. There's a lovely birch bark. I could gather some birch off here, but I've got enough to be going on with. No broken branches here to depict which way I'm going. I'm going to look on the floor. Here's the National Trust symbol on a big rock. I have a look around. Hang on, what's this? Now, to anyone else, that would just look like fallen branches. To me, that's one of my arrows. And it's pointing down there. Everything looks different coming the other way. So what I do, for instance, if I was walking uphill like this, and I do get to a junction, I make a habit of looking behind and recognising the terrain. Maybe a stump like this. I remember that. Now, did you spot on the way up this half fallen tree resting on a branch up here? I remember it. Now, these tractor treads weren't here before, and I can hear it up there. More machinery work going on. I don't know what machinery it is. Maybe they're chipping the downed old wood. Wow, this is a fantastic walk. Better on a lovely day like it is today. Put my fleece back on now. I'm losing a lot of light because of the tree canopy, and that's also cooled the temperature down. So it's good to know when to de-layer and when to put your layers on. This is fantastic. This actually looks a lot steeper walking up than I remember it now. I'm walking down it. You'd think I'd have noticed how steep this is. I hope them clues that I've been leaving myself are my clues. Should be. I only do them when we come to an intersection. Speaking of which, there's another one coming up, and I really just do not remember anything here. I've snapped a branch there. See if there's any more. I remember doing this. I laid a branch inside a twig on a tree, and this is all on the right hand side. See how that broken limb off there has come from there? I did that. Time to go to the right, and not the left. It's quite a good indicator because I am walking downhill, which is the location I need to be travelling in, is downhill. And I know because I've walked up all the way. And travelling downhill is good for me, because the whole hike in here was uphill. I'm going to try and get a map of these woods, you know, and I'm sure we'll find some lovely other locations. I don't think I'd like to do a night camp here. It's quite unforgiving. It'd be good to hide out in, but quite unforgiving for a camp. If I was to need to evacuate in a hurry, I won't be doing that here. But and also, if I was to evacuate here, that there looks absolutely fantastic. But because we're on a National Trust walkway, like you see, I've seen dozens of people today. Guys walking the dogs. As you see, there's people strimming and litter picking. It's national woodland. There's always someone who can spot you. And it's people like that that blab to the park ranger, and before you know it, you've got someone breathing down your neck trying to warrant you with a fine for trespass. It's a shame. There's only one place I know in the UK where you can legally camp overnight on any mountain, and that's in Dartmoor. Maybe now, 2016, there are other locations that are similar to that. I'm not sure what the laws are on wild camp in other bits of the world, but here in the UK, most of the UK do not have a legal freedom to camp anywhere rule. See what I mean about one junction after the other. Now I made a note of remembering this symbol on the rock. I don't remember coming through here, and I don't remember seeing this sign here. There's a cliff edge right there. I wouldn't have gone that way. But I do remember, always look out for the wooden bridge on the way back, and veer to the right. So here's the wooden bridge, which I didn't cross on the way up. So my fire making kit was made for me by an online company. If I can find who did it for me, I'll put that in the description box, and you can either buy it, or at least it's giving you some ideas of the type of kit you might be able to put together yourself. So either way, whether you'd want to buy something like this for £5-6 delivered to your door, or it's giving you some ideas to get your own fire kit together, you know, that was the aim of the episode. Today's episode only started out as a quick show and tell of the fire making kit that you can buy online. It's turned out to be quite a track and chat episode, and I hope you've really appreciated the National Trust woodland like I have. It's been a great walk. I've still got maybe a couple of clicks. I'm not rushing. I'm just enjoying. I wish I'd have bought a tea bag for when that water boiled. That would have been great. But then it was just a demonstration of that utensils bucket, which I converted into a fire bucket. Really, really handy them, because they use so little wood. I'm coming back into the location where I can see paint blobs on the trees. Like that. Who's this? Lovely. It's a lovely place to bring your dogs here as well. Hey, who's this? Who's this? Who's this? Hello. He's come, he's had a smell of me. He's had a smell of me, he's friendly. His friend. You're right there. Yeah. Aren't you lovely? Eh? Here's that big old down log or downed tree that we need to cross. I dare say the park lads will be around. I'll go under this time, I went over before. It's always best if you see any kind of dog, even the big ones that look scary, is never show any fear. Act like you're the master and you're not scared of them, and demand them to come to you and smell you and give them a fuss. Leave them alone, then off they go. It's worked for me, that, anyway. The fire tin itself takes up hardly any room in the pack at all. Actually, I wear mine in one of the pockets of my tactical assault vest, and that's all it takes up, is one pocket. There's an episode on that, carrying the tac vest with every single item of survival importance, wearing it on my vest rather than carrying it in my bag. The bag isn't now only for clothing, and I've got another chest bag, which is my Armageddon pack. Very different to a bug out bag, by the way. I'm still in the process of building my Armageddon pack. It's not always a pleasant thing to think about, preparing for such a big disaster, but I think we can all see where the world is heading, and it's not nice. So, a little different to my usual bug out pack. That would be my Armageddon pack. I'm at a junction again. I just want to have a quick little look at where I may have, well, I wouldn't have come that way, definitely not. I'd have come this way. And that's my last marker, which will be one of the first ones we made. I know the way from here, just stay on the path and it comes out into that beautiful clearing. Very, very steep dried up waterfall here. It's massively steep. And down there as well. I want to stay away from that edge down there. Oh! And here we are right back where we started from. So I'm going to wrap it up here. So that's been the fire making kit. It's been the fire bucket and the new survival knife, all in one little episode. And it's been a bit of a chat and trek. So I didn't plan on it being that way, but how could I not introduce you to all this beauty? Until next time, take care of yourself.